Hello, everyone. I have a special guest, and I know this is not who you were expecting, but
Is special the right word?
I think it really is. You know, it has multiple meanings, so you can if you want. Just kidding. We're having some tech issues, but that is okay. We are so excited to be here. It is Thursday night, so you know what that means. You know that it is our Teach Better chat. I almost said Mastery chat, but it is not. It is formerly Mastery chat, now Teach Better chat. So if you are here with us, stick with us. This is going to be a great conversation. Can't wait to recap this incredible chat that we had. We will be right back. Welcome, everyone. It is time to talk about this incredible chat. And I have the pleasure, I have the one, the only, the incredible Jeff Gargas here with me.
Hi. What's going on? I like when I get like tagged in like unexpectedly. It's kind of it's fun. It's like there's no prep, so I'm just like, oh, I'm here. Like let's do this thing.
Yeah, great. I mean, it was either that or like they were just going to listen to me talk to myself,
which may be better. Not gonna lie, might be better. I'd love this. You know, if you don't mind, jump in the comments. Let us know. Like, should I have just not come? Would you be better with just Meghan?
Maybe we'll see. We'll rate him at the end, and we'll see how he does.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how everyone wants to make Jeff feel tonight. Good chat though. Like active questions were like they were good.
It was awesome, and you know I'm just getting used to this 30-minute for our new format. We're just getting used to.
I was just telling Amy, my wife, I'm like, I keep forgetting that it's shorter, so like everything comes faster right now. Like it's always been like the hour long was like fast, but now it's like it's like fast. Like I'm like we're already to 3.
Oh, I know.
Like
and thank goodness I schedule my tweets. I stand by that now. I don't know how, like, especially now too, with just it being quicker. I agree. It feels like it like moves quicker. So the scheduling the tweets is where it's at because now I can at least, you know, we got one vote for me. But
Brianna has my back. Yeah. See, nice. See, I know. I got you.
With those ambassadors jumping in.
Yeah, Daniel's always repping YouTube as well, so I always appreciate that. Yeah, it was funny. You know, I was telling my wife that I'm like, it's there's like we're already to question 3 of 4, and she's like, well, it's 20 after. I'm like, how are you more like she's okay for apparently, and I'm like all discombobulated around it. But no, it's great. This was a good chat. I really like the new format. That the whole thing, everything all together is now an hour. I really like that. I think, and so far we've gotten really good response about that part, so that's good. So it's been good.
Yeah, if you are just joining us, maybe you are new and this is one of your first chats with us. Jeff and I are just kind of talking about the fact that we have made a big change from what used to be Mastery Chat. It used to be an hour-long chat followed by the recap, and now we have transitioned that to Teach Better Chat, which is 30-minute chat and then our 30-minute recap. So we made that change about a month ago now.
I think we're a month in now. I think so. I can't remember the exact date. I think we're probably about a month. Yeah, and so that went from 6 to 7 questions to 4. But it's crazy because I'm like, it's like only 4 questions, Mike. So it shouldn't feel it, but it's only in 30 minutes. So it's just this. I don't know. Apparently, I can't handle it. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's in a good way, though. In a good way, I think.
Good. There's a lot of interaction in 30 minutes. A lot of interaction.
And this was one of those chats where the questions really got people thinking. So it made the 30 minutes go super fast because it was active, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And speaking of, I know we mentioned our ambassadors earlier. One of our ambassadors, our incredible Nilmini, hosted our chat tonight.
Yes.
And we're still hoping she's going to jump in here.
Live. It would be nice, but we just could talk about how awesome she is. Can I just say, like she came out the gates like just right off the bench swinging here, whatever you want to say, like with that question of the thing. And I think it was Ray's answer was, why is this question so hard? Like, in the variety of answers is just awesome.
Absolutely. And I think too, going back to, oh, here we go.
Did she get in? She got in.
She got in. Let's do this. Oh wait, no.
And her shirt has Canada on it. Yeah.
How are you?
We were just talking about
how awesome you are
and how amazing it is.
The chat was so amazing.
But go away. We're still talking about how awesome you are. What do you? No. What? So
nice to have you here, guys.
I'm
lovely late. I'm making an entry.
She's
no. See, what happened was Jeff and I just got to really build you up, talk about how amazing you were, and then you joined us. It was
she's on Canadian time. It's just a little more relaxed. That's all. Okay. We were just. I'm gonna go though, so that you can interview her because that's what it's all about. But I was gonna leave it. I mean, we were talking about that first question, like right off the bat, like you hit us all with like this. Why? And I was talking about Ray was literally like, why is this so hard? And it was so cool to see all the different answers. And I think about like I've had this. I can't remember who I've had this conversation with multiple times. Like that type of a question where you didn't guide us anywhere or ever. Doing that with your kids is really awesome because their minds will just go. And it was awesome because we saw that happen here too. Everyone's trying to like peel in like, well, what was she trying to get me to say? And then it was cool. So that was awesome. So I'm glad you got connected. I'm gonna go so the two of you can do your thing. But thank you so much for leading us tonight. It was an awesome chat. I know people are really just loving the way you made us think tonight. So appreciate you so much. Megan, you too. I like you too. That's cool.
Thanks.
Dad.
Everybody watching, I love you too. I'm glad I got to jump in and say hi. I see Livia's here and Jeff's here and Danielle and Brianna. Thanks for the love earlier. So okay, I'm leaving you in very good hands.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
So sorry I'm joining in late. Hi, everyone. It was a fantastic chat. And
oh my gosh.
I can reflect on it forever.
Let's pause real quick. I want you to do one thing for us. Yeah. So if this is someone's first time connecting with you, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do, because you are incredible and have so much to share. So tell us all about you.
Okay, so I teach grade 2. I'm a teacher. I live in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. I was born in Sri Lanka and we immigrated here. And Sri Lanka is absolutely close to my heart, but I am Canadian. And I'm very proud to be Canadian and working with you. And I think all countries working together is really important to me because I come from a different country that I had to leave and immigrate. What am I about? I don't know. I love teaching. I love learning. And my passion is definitely tonight's topic, equity, inclusion, social justice, human rights, and how we integrate that into education.
Awesome. I love it. And I think that you bring such an amazing perspective to this because you do have perspective from different countries and different places. And so you bringing that perspective and being able to share that and share your knowledge of that is so incredibly helpful. And just as somebody who has been learning from you is amazing.
Thank you. That's really nice to say. I'm really happy to be learning alongside you. I always think as teachers, as educators, we're always learning, right? We don't know it all. We are always constantly changing our vocabulary, changing our knowledge, and empowering others. We're guiding others as well as guiding ourselves.
Absolutely. I love that. So let's kind of go back to the start of the chat, really even before tonight, when you were creating these questions and you were creating your topic, what was your thinking behind that? What was your reasoning for the questions you asked? And what were you hoping that everyone was going to be able to take away from tonight's chat?
I think I kind of planned it backwards. So I kind of wanted to be, what do I want people to take away from the chat? And I went backwards and planned my 4 questions and built on each question to get to the ending. So I wanted people to think about reflection and how they're going to change their practice on equity, how they teach a little bit differently, and how they would take the knowledge from tonight and apply it to real life in a reflective way. So then I went backwards and thought about 3 amazing questions to guide that thinking so that they can understand no matter where we teach, which country, which classroom, which neighborhood, there is always equity in place that you need to be considering first so that the students feel like they belong and they can be successful. Each classroom is different, but if you have equity principles in mind, you can be successful in your classroom because you're differentiating according to the student. So that's kind of the framework I came with when I built those questions going backwards. And I also wanted it to be open-ended, like the first question where I didn't have one answer in mind. I wanted to see what everyone brought into the conversation because nobody knows it all. I don't know it all, but as we have a conversation and we respect each other and we learn from each other, that's how we grow.
I think that I speak for everyone who was in the chat and everyone who's with us live now. You knocked that out of the park. I think absolutely what you wanted from that chat is absolutely what happened. And I love that you asked the open-ended questions. And I love that you came out swinging with that first question because especially now in the 30-minute format, every question is just as important as the next. But I also, I love that we were given the opportunity to discuss and share opinions and perspectives and learn from each other. And it's kind of like we always tell our kids, a lot of times there's not just one right answer. It's, it's being able to share your background knowledge and your experience. And so I thought that was so cool. And again, I think you absolutely knocked it out of the park. It was an incredible chat and such an important topic all the time. But I think that really we saw the equity come into play so much in this last year because suddenly our kids weren't all in our classroom with us all the time, which really does then take a lot of things out of our control. And now we were working in a very different environment with very different obstacles, I think. So I loved this chat and seeing everyone's responses. I think it was awesome.
I'm very happy to hear that. I think it was also the year where we saw the classroom from a different perspective, right? We saw students through the camera and we got to see what is needed, what's not. And really, it was an opportunity to actually individualize the program and differentiate because we had no choice. And we really had to think about it because I taught online and it was something that actually, after 20 years of teaching, is the first time I actually thought about it applying to every single student. Because at any given time, I had to change my programming according to the need of the student.
First of all, I would like to applaud you for teaching grade 2 online because I taught 7th grade online and I don't know how you taught grade 2. So I would like to first applaud you for that. But, I love that you said that. We really saw the students and we saw them in a different environment than we usually do. And that caused a lot of changes. And it was positive changes. It was things that we had to know our students. And I think what I loved the most in education overall, I think that a lot of us as educators feel this way, but the importance of certain things shifted. We were focused more on our students as individuals and how they were doing. And so I think that when we were able to focus on that more, and that's what we were supposed to be focusing on more of, I think that opens more doors for us to understand, where they're at and what they're doing. So I think that was also helpful.
I agree. It's almost like if you think about if the need is there and if we don't meet the need of the student, how can they be successful in our classroom, right? There's no way, no matter what grade you teach, if, for an example, if a child is hungry, they need to eat first before they can think about concentrating and listening to the rules and trying to focus on curricula, right? So you really do have to put the need of the student first in any classroom. And that's just one example. You can also go with the other end and think about graduating from high school, going into university. If you have no money to go to college or university, then where is that option to pursue higher education so you can get the good job to provide for your family? So just reflecting on that aspect and making sure you can give that opportunity to every child is important. So it's something that was important to me. And in the community I teach, it's a lot of different things going on, not just one thing. So if I can focus on one thing for one child, then I have to change my mindset for the next child and do what's needed for them, because I know that every single student can be successful. And that's what we all do, right? Every single day in our classrooms, when we're back in the classroom, which we haven't been. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, and I love you say, you can focus on every student, and every student has different needs, and that is hard. I don't think either of us are sitting up here saying that is something that is easy to do.
Yep.
But exactly like you said, every single student can be successful. You just have to allow them to be by meeting them where they're at. And if you understand the struggles and the obstacles that specific student is facing, you are then able to help them overcome that to be successful. They all can be, but they all just have very different things going on. And what works for one is not going to be what works for everyone. So it's not easy, but once you help them overcome those obstacles and you can really focus on that. I also think too, I saw this come up with relationships and, talking about that aspect of it. When you pour into that relationship with the student and they know that you want to help them be successful, that is a huge piece, because who knows who has done that for them before.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I like the way you brought up the graphic in question 3, because it's and I loved it because I saw so many perspectives coming out of that graphic and the question. What works for one student is not what works for every single student. The need of one student is not the same for every single student. However, if we think fairness and doing the same thing, it doesn't work. And I think that's the reflection behind it, is to know that sometimes we start school in September. So in September, you might get most of the students to buy in, but there will be students who don't really have that relationship with you, who don't really trust you enough to open up. And you need to give them time and give yourself time. And maybe that will take a whole year until June. You don't know. But if you can make that connection and the relationship to get to know the student, then you build upon it. So I think it's just one step at a time. And I like the way you described that.
I do want to shout out the image that you used, because it is, I love it. I think it is so perfect. And I do think as educators, I feel like I've been having this conversation, or it's been a conversation since I was going to school to become a teacher, of fairness and equity. And I think that very often those get put together. Mm-hmm. And when you really look at it, and I think that graphic is such a perfect way to show and communicate exactly what that should look like, is, every student doesn't need the same thing to be successful. And that's okay. But that's part of our job, is to figure out what our students need to be successful and provide that to every extent that we can to them. Because if they can learn, and again, you look at students, you have 2nd graders, I have 7th graders. If no one has helped them be successful yet, then, they've been going along. Once they learn how to overcome some of their obstacles and how to be successful, that's going to follow them. That's going to keep going. That's going to be something that helps them as they grow.
That is so true. So the next part of it is, us as educators, we have to make sure we have that mindset of knowing that every single student can be successful in their own way. And that's the key. If we know that they can be, then we provide them with that opportunity. And that's where the growth mindset comes in, because if we do have a little bit of an implicit bias or some kind of obstacle that we as educators face, then it's going to be a little bit more challenging to address that. But if we don't address that bias, it's going to be challenging to provide. So nobody's perfect, not even every teacher, not even me. We all make mistakes, but it's knowing that if we make a mistake, we can go back and say, oh, you know what? I gave you extra time on this task. That's not what you needed. You needed me to translate and find you a translator so I can translate it into your own language. And I made a mistake. I'm so sorry, but here's another opportunity for you to try this task with a translator, right? It's just knowing that if we don't get it right, it's okay, but we're going to try to get it right to make sure students are successful.
I love that. I love the owning when you make a mistake, and we don't know everything, and we also may not have every tool we need all the time. So that's why I loved your last two questions, because I think that you set it up for really, what are some obstacles or ways that you are kind of overcoming that. But then it was, what questions do you still have? And I think that really just keeps reiterating the fact that it's okay for us not to have every answer, and to admit when we make mistakes. That makes us human. That makes our kids go, oh, you make mistakes too. Then they're open to making mistakes and being able to correct that. So I think that those are just two key things that we continue to model and continue, like you said, teachers are, forever learning, and they always should be. And I think that's why I really loved that last question of what questions do what do you still need to know? Because there is so much, and so I can't wait to kind of go back and reread. That's my other favorite thing about the Twitter chats. I like to go back.
I can't wait to go back and reread and comment and talk about it with people, right? Like, it goes by so fast, but it gives you a snippet of exactly where everyone's mindset is at. Then I can go back and revisit, and I can't wait to do that either.
I love that, because I can't wait to go back and read what everyone said. I'm also going to shout you out real quick, because you just published a blog, but it is actually a blog series.
Yes.
Amazing. And I'm so excited for that to continue and to keep, learning. I feel like every month now I have something new to learn, and that's always exciting.
I'm so glad. So I'm super excited about it. The blog series just came out today. It is building upon each other. So I'm actually waiting for people to get back to me and ask me questions so I can think about it. It also has 3 questions you can reflect on, because I think when you're doing equity work, it's a very important aspect to go inside yourself and reflect on how you're feeling and what bothers you, what gets you the knots in your stomach or gets you goosebumps, because those are the things that are going to make you change as a practitioner, as an educator. So those reflective questions are important, and I'm super excited about the blog. So please read it.
That is amazing. It was perfect that it came out today, and you were moderating the chat, and loving the reflection questions at the end. Because, as educators, we're all about the reflection. And I think that is important, because I agree with you 100%, is when we identify what, maybe doesn't sit right with us, or what things we're still thinking about and contemplating, that is really when we move forward with change. And this is not going to go anywhere unless we as educators continue to make this a topic of conversation, continue to collaborate with each other, and continue to keep talking about this. And whether it's with each other, with our kids, we got to keep this a conversation and keep moving forward with it.
I so agree. Continuing conversation, right? The growth mindset is to know that we are never perfect. We are always learning as teachers, and we're always learning from each other. We're the best resource. We have each other to support each other, to learn from each other, and then we guide our next generation to be equity-minded, awesome citizens that live in this world. So it is awesome to see teachers learning alongside me. I always come in with the mindset that I don't know everything, I am myself learning, but I am happy to share the knowledge that I have because I think we are amazing when we work together and collaborate.
That's incredible. Well, I wanted to take a second and not only thank everyone that joined the Teach Better chat, everyone that joined us here live. Thank you for moderating, bringing up such an important conversation, just knocking it out of the park with incredible questions to get us all thinking and talking. And I am so excited. I want everyone to follow you. I want everyone to read your blog, and I want them to keep just following that and keep reading that. I'm super excited to be connected with you and to continue learning from you because I've already learned so much and it's been like an hour. So
thank you for having me, and it's good to have this chat. Please do follow me. I'm super friendly. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I'm happy to message you back and talk to you. I always like people who ask questions and communicate, and we're learning from each other. So that would be wonderful. It's nice to have people to learn from who are around the world, who we can connect with and say, hey, what's going on? Here's a little bit of my classroom and what's going on. So thank you. And it was a wonderful night. Thank you for having me on.
It was a really great night. So everyone, we will see you back here at the same time next week for our next Teach Better chat, and have a fantastic night.
Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Thanks.